All right, hello friends. So right now I'm deciding to repot my what am I repotting? My Nobilis and my Yucatan. Now, I don't want to touch them too much and I want to be as gentle as possible. It's not really possible, right? I mean, you've got to get that soil off so you can put it in the pond. The mix I'm using today for these babies is I haven't cleaned it because I didn't want to get it wet, else it's really hard to work with. But it's a pon, lechuza pon with stratum, fluval stratum, and basement's thick pon, which is this bigger pon here. My child's gonna come tattletale, bear with me. But so that's kind of the big pon that I'm going to be using. I'm not going to give it a lot of water or nutrients because when they're stunted from traveling and being repot, they're not going to be drinking or taking up fertilizer because they're going to be a little stunted, right? So I'm going to give it a little super thrive to recover from the repot. Victoria, are you okay? What's the matter? Okay. And I'm also going to add a little bit of humic acid, which is a supplement that helps them uptake nutrients from the soil, etc. Even though they're not going to be, it'll just help them recover a little bit, in my opinion. You know, everybody does this differently. But you want to help me, Tori? Are you okay? Why are you sad? You're not? You sound a little sad. Did I make you sad? No? Okay, well, at least I didn't make you sad. What I'm also going to do for it is I'm going to add a little bit of my Myco. I'm using this liquid Myco. Been using it for like a month and a half, and I haven't seen anything suffer from it or get sad from using it, so I think it's okay. I want to say it's okay. And I'm just using a dropper. And I used it on my Jacqueline that was suffering, and he got really good roots after it, so I don't know if it was just luck or if that actually was the difference. I don't know. So, but that's what I'm going to do. And I'm as soon as I put these into the mix that I've got, I'm going to be doing a minimal amount of watering, like just pour a tiny bit. And then before I go to bed tonight, then I will put about a 1/4 inch of water in here so it doesn't dry out completely, but it also so it's not oversaturated when it's in a stunted period. Because even if it's not in a stunted period and it's fine, you don't know that, right? You don't actually know whether it is or not, so it's better to play it safe. And I see a lot of people watering right away, and that's just scary because you don't know how upset the plant is or how stunted it might be. Mom did say that there is a plug on this, usually. So I have my handy dandy chopstick. I did have my claw thing, but it's not here. So I got these this morning. They've been sitting in my cabinet for all day. It is now, what time is it? 4:30. So I'm gonna take a peek. I'm hoping to find corms. Probably won't since they're so small. It's very unlikely, but we do want to it is dry, so that's good. We want it a little bit dry. We don't want to be gassy. Now, my mom and I were talking in the car about it, and we always see influencers saying that you should leave your, and I know I've said this on my channel before, but for anybody new, the plugs on. Don't leave them on. Sure, your plants will be okay. They'll grow through it, but if your plant's trying to actively make corms and you have a mesh one, or even this is very hard, it's not going to grow through it. It's going to struggle to grow through it. And I just don't think you want that. This is TC, you can tell by the way the stem is, or it's an offshoot. Oh, I ripped shoot. But yeah, usually if this is drier, it'll just peel off gently. You just kind of remove it gently around the root system. It's going to be angry no matter what. It's got a little rot here, probably because this gets overly saturated in her type of soil, which is a nice chunky one. So, and you will never get corms with it. I mean, you will, but it's very rare, guys. I'm sorry, but it's very rare that you get corms when you have a plug like this. And I see people saying don't take them off on the alocasias all the time, and it just makes me cringe. it stunts their growth and then they die off because they can't grow any further. They can't get the nutrients they need. It's just a shit show. Just better if you remove it. And sure, somebody will be in the comments. No, actually, they're fine with it. Alocasias are very strong and their roots will push through that. Okay, sure, some. Fair enough. Fair enough. Sharon, fair enough. I use Sharon as my Karen, okay. I'm sorry, I have some really nice Sharon customers though. So I need to find a name that I don't have lovely customers with that same name because that just makes me feel sad. I don't think I have a Karen. Do we have a Karen in the room? Oh, do we have a nice Karen in the room? That's a better question to ask. So the roots are suffering a little bit. I'm glad I'm repotting it. We're going to have to be really careful with how we water this in order to get it to recover. I'm very anxious about it. Very, very anxious. But I'm like sweating. I'm so anxious. That came off very easily though. I don't know how much of that you saw or how much was in focus. If it was just me talking, I'm sorry, but it was important information anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So I don't even think we need to put it under the tap water. We might be able to just rinse it in pretty good. I would like to get at the top a little more of that off, but sorry, I'm very bad at this, aren't I? So, you know, and you can even take a really soft brush, like a really soft toothbrush, just brush through these gently. Sometimes I'll do that, especially if I get imports. And just kind of make sure there's no loose roots, because there might be rotted roots, and you just want to clear that a little bit. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Why are you stalking me?
When will you be done?
When will I be? As soon as I repotted these two babies. Why?
Can I help?
You want to help me?
Yeah, no, I want to.
Sure. You want to scoop the substrate in for me?
I know what I mean.
I'll show you. Hang on. We have Miss Tori here. She's going to help us. Huh?
Just thank you.
Okay. Hang on. So I have my wicks. I run my wicks up, and of course you guys are going to hear me say a lot of things twice or multiple times, but I like to run my wick up the edge all the way along the back end. If your root's attached to it, they'll be used to it, so you don't need to worry about that. All right, Miss Tori, we want to put a big scoop in here, not the swale, here. So here. So pour that in here. Yep. Nice. All right, we want to take out a little bit because we need the roots to fit. Can you scoop a little more in your scooper?
Yep.
Get your scoop. Oops.
Sorry.
You're good? No, you're good. We have a little leaf growing in here. Very cute. All right. I'm going to position these roots kind of spread out a little bit in a circular position. Hang on, honey. I see that. You don't need that much, huh? I'm gonna try and get it in the center, and I'm gonna aim those old roots away from the wick because they're not used to that wick. Torin, that was dumb, wasn't it? Wasn't that silly?
Why is that upside down?
Because I don't know either. It really, really drives me nuts too.
What if it is upside down?
People are gonna think I'm so mean to you. They said that was dumb. Bet. Are they silly? Huh? This is good, but we gotta shake it a little bit. Huh? Yeah, hang on. So when I want to stabilize it, I will hold it in center position, or I will rock it. And then I will tap it a little bit. It could go for a little more swale tour. It's a little wobbly. And once you get a little water in there, it will stabilize it a little bit more. So gently, you're putting way too much, girl. You just a little bit at a time. Okay, even that's gonna be a lot here. All right, pour a little bit in there. Go on. There we go, pour it in. Not all of it, there we go, that's good. Okay, no, we don't tap. Okay, put that back in there. Put it back in the pot. No, put it back in the pot. There we go, good Lord. All right, that's good. So we're not playing in it because you're gonna break down the rock, okay?
I'm not really putting that back in. I'm putting that back in.
So now I'm gonna give it a little bit of water. I'm just gonna put a little bit of water in this. You're going now?
No. sitting over here doing
I'll call you when the next one's ready. So I'm just going to show you how much I'm going to give it while it sits in my cabinet, okay? So I'm just going to, right where I know those roots are, a little bit. You'll hear it sizzle, like that. And when you lift it up, you're going to see it's really dry still. Actually, it doesn't look that dry. See, but see how a little bit, as I say, and it looks so wet. But you see how I can watch these roots now? I don't know if you can see that, but now I can see these roots and I can watch. And I put holes in every single planter I get. I do not like when they don't have holes. Now, these ones that I'm using right now, they don't because I'm lazy, but I would put holes in there if I wasn't lazy. But you can see it's really wet. So I'm going to try and get the excess water out. I don't want it sitting in any water today. So I'm going to literally shake and remove it. And anything that's left in here, I'm going to pour out. Like that.
So now you make boba.
I will make boba. You want me to make boba? And then he's good, right? And then I'll put him in my cabinet. I'm going to put him in my cabinet right now. I'm almost done. And then I'll play with you. Okay, so let's get this, I know, let's get this one ready. I'm going to actually put the non-cinched version. Someone asked a question when she asked if, she watches my channel all the time, so because it was a good question, I'm going to answer it for anyone else that might be thinking this, but I burn the ends to stop them breaking. Some I don't, depends on the type of string. This one I do. If it burns right away and goes dark, you don't need to cinch that. You just gotta suck it up. But she asked if it will stop wicking up water. But when the wick sits in the pot, it's gonna sit like this. So this part will wick it up. You don't need to worry about this being hard or burned off. If that makes sense. Just trying to cover any sort of question that might be on your guys' minds. This one I'm nervous about. Okay, you are so pretty. Look, this leaf even got better from this morning than this morning. Shit will be the end of me. There. Good Lord. The focus on this is so horrible. But here you can see, I don't think I showed you the Yucatan very clearly because I did in my other video. So I keep forgetting that this might be a separate video than that, you know? But it has this like very intense pinks here. My mom's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it looks like a marker. That's how pink it is. She's like, nuh-uh. I'm like, no, for real. Look.
It's like a marker.
I know, it's pretty, isn't it?
Where is it?
But this was very soft this morning. So I'm glad I put it in. It's kind of melting a little bit here. So we're probably going to lose this leaf. Even though it's the new leaf, we're going to probably lose it. This is the new one, but this is the previous one to the new one. But if you look here, it's melting a little bit. Right here. So we'll watch that and see how it goes. I didn't rinse these. I should in case there's pests. You can see on the back it's damaged here. I ran out of memory. We're going to continue this. Oh, okay. So I've gotten to the plug. I don't want to mess with this guy any more than I need to. So obviously no corms because it's in a plug and it's a TC, so it takes a little bit longer to get corms. But when the corms come out of TC plants, they're usually very beautiful. So while I don't buy TC for my personal collection, I will purchase them for the shop and invest in the potential corms that they will make for me, you know? Then I sell them to you guys. But you see how these are getting all stuck here? It's just not good to have them all crunched together. Now, this is not the shop's, like me saying that, oh, the shop is horrible for doing this. No. This is when you're reselling, you're not going to go and redo every single baby that comes in because it's going to stress it out. That will be the next person's job to then strip the baby, do what they want with the baby. And if you're putting in soil, you might not even take this off. I don't know what your planting routine is, but for me, it's like if you're just reselling them really quick, not really quick, like she waits, obviously. But if you're reselling them, you don't need to go through and clear them all. You know, the next person can go and do that. Oh, she's starting corms here. Or offshoots. So let's be very careful. No wonder you're suffering. You're putting so much energy to the other spots. Here. Tori. Torin. Can you see that? I think that's either dead roots or they're harder. So I'm thinking, but there's roots coming off of them. They might be, because TC does that. They offshoot a lot more frequently, especially when they're younger. So it could be, and I might be wrong on that too. We're researching TC right now for a video. My mom has some really good, so I'm not even going to say it. I was going to say why we don't use TC for our collection, but I'm going to wait. If you guys are interested in a TC video, we have some interesting revelations, some interesting business to discuss with you guys. Sorry, I'm not in the camera, am I? Watch half this video be me everywhere. My bad. I don't check. I need to check more, but you can see I'm trying to. Is my husband calling me again? No. Is he? Abnormal heart rate detected. Ugh, calm down. We're fine. We're fine. Relax. I see people saying is you don't need to remove all the soil. You want to try and remove it, like I said, because anything that's not going to be hydroponic, you know, in essential or like conducive to it, it's going to rot these areas of the roots because it's going to be oversaturated and just not happy, right? So it is imperative to try and remove as much as you can. You can see there's a little bit on mine, but and sure, you might have a great experience with doing that and you don't actually have to remove it all, like you've had good outcomes with it. But unless you're very used to planting a certain way, it could be dangerous for your planting style. Like it could affect your plant very negatively. So it's better just to play it safe, in my opinion. There's no chicken. You can get it all now. My husband's calling. My daughter's telling him all of the juicy food details, so. Again, I kept those roots away from the wick. And I'm going to gently tap it while holding my finger to hold the plant in place and like lean against it. I know you're hungry. Don't eat the trash. Stop eating the trash. Stop eating the trash, Duncan. Thank you. Good Lord. You would think I don't feed my cats. Little fatties, honestly. All right, and same with this guy. You can see the roots on the edges in multiple spots. I'm hoping, at least. Here's one here. Here's a bunch here. Right here. Now I can watch it carefully. And we have this water. I'm going to hold him in place because he's tipping a little bit. I'm going to hold him in place. Well, actually, I'm not, because I fixed him by doing that. I'm just going to pour a little water through it. There we go. My cupboard has quite a good fan too. I'm holding it steady, by the way, when I'm shaking out the excess water. Just let it sink. Now my plain Nobilis is very easy. She tolerates all sorts of abuse. I'm hoping this one is similar because I already have that one under control, or at least I know how to take care of that one in my mind. So. Okay. You can see her. She is pretty moist, which is good. It's a little drier, but moist. I have them by fans, and my cabinet is pretty open, so humidity isn't high, which will make her drink more. And the temperature in there it's 74-ish, so it's pretty warm for the most part. So it will encourage the plant to drink as well. If it's super humid, your plant will take longer to get rid of the water in here because there's not enough space in the air. But if it's really hot, it will as well drink a lot more. If it's cooler, it's going to drink a lot less, which is winter. That's why a lot of people are losing theirs because they're watering the same, but their plants are colder. They're kind of dormant, going into dormancy a tiny bit. And we create artificial environments, of course, but there's still variables. I think they still have a seasonal downset. So I'm going to go put this in the cabinet and then clean up. But hopefully you enjoyed that. Let me get the Yucatan so you could see in case it's not paired with the other one. I don't think I really showcased it, but this is the second leaf on my Nobilis. Will it ever focus? Let me get the other one. And then I am done for the day. Done for the day. Done for the day. I will be done. I wouldn't be surprised if that big leaf tanks, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me lift this up. I should wipe these leaves down. Maybe before bed I'll rinse them, but I don't want to stress it out anymore. But here's the big leaf. Here's the second biggest leaf. I like this coloring a lot, especially this leaf. I like the whites and the pink veins. So, it's beautiful. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully it helped you a little bit. I know I've done plenty of these before, but you never know. You know, somebody new might find it and then find it useful for how to acclimate a new plant in. It scares me doing it because you really never know sometimes what your plant is going to do or when it's going to throw a fit. But those are just, now remember, this is how I do things. It's not like a strict rule on how everybody should do things. You know, what works for you, you know, might not work for me. What works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. So plant at a slow pace, try new things at a slow pace. And, you know, you might say, oh, well, that's incorrect. That doesn't work for me. Remember, everyone's going to have a different experience because people intuitively water and take care of their plants differently. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, she's an icon. Beautiful. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye.